Good morning, students. Uh, I hope you will find at home, and I welcome you all in this lecture of Power System Instrumentation. Code is EE311, Unit is 4, and the topic is Power System Instrumentation 1, Energy Meters used in power system. We can say. If I'm talking about the power system instrumentation, so my dear student, the instrumentation means I am talking about the measuring part. Measuring part means the instrument which we use for the measuring purpose. So the instrument which we are using for the measuring purpose are known as the measuring instruments. So which type of measuring instrument we can talk, though in the electrical measuring part instrumentation, we have studied lot of type instruments. For example, moving coil, moving iron, induction type, induction disk type. Okay, so many we can understand basically measuring instrument. So that measuring instrument having the construction means we studied about the construction. But in this power system instrumentation, what we have studied or what we are going to study, basically which type of is the measuring instrument we are using for the instrument purpose in power system. Because if I'm talking about the power system, so it comprises of three basic things. First is the generation, second is the transmission, third is the distribution. Now, if I'm talking about the generation, the generation may be conventional and non-conventional. So, in that generation part, what we are going to do, basically, we are converting the one form of energy into the another as per the energy conservation law. So, we are converting one form to the another, and that may be the thermal, maybe the nuclear, okay, gas, petroleum, and hydro, to which we are basically converting. And if I'm talking about the non-conventional, that is basically the solar, wind, biomass, mini and micro hydro power plants is also there. So these are come in the category of non-conventional, means renewable energy sources. Non-renewable and renewable. Renewable means we can renew it, and non-renewable we can't renew it. So the thermal or coal-fired power plants comes in the category of non-renewable energy sources. Why it is come in the category of non-renewable energy sources? Because they can't renew. Okay, if we can renew it, then it comes in the category of renewable energy source. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. Now, if I'm talking about the power system instrumentation, though in power system instrumentation, we having the basically comprising 5 unit as per the our Suresh Ganbhar University curriculum, which we follow in the GV set, that is Ganbhar School of Engineering and Technology, and in that GV set we having the one branch, that is electrical engineering. So as per electrical engineering, the subject name is in the fifth semester, that is PSI. In short form, we used to say it is a PSI, but the full form is Power System Instrumentation. And the code is EE311. Code is what? Electrical engineering denoting representing EE, and 311 is the code as per the curriculum. And a unit which we are basically talking about, that is unit number 4. And topic is Power System Instrumentation 1, Energy Meters. Now, if I'm revising again topics, because if I'm going further, so we have to understand or remember the back things. Okay, if I don't know that how to ride a bike, how to start a bike, how to put gears, how to apply clutch, how to apply brake on the speed breakers, or whenever we find the brake is up, we have to apply the brake. How we can do it? So if I want to do it, though I have to remember all the basic things. That if I push on the switch, then I have to apply accelerator. Then when clutch is applying, so gear can be changed very smoothly, very easily. Then accelerator is there. So the thing is there, the basic things. So if I'm talking about the units, basically, the first unit is totally dealing with the errors. Errors is basically a mistake or a blunder we can make. Human beings also making a mistakes, means you and I are also able to make mistakes, can be make mistakes, maybe then maybe make mistakes or blunders. So this is due to the human error, and we can see some errors. So in the unit number 1, we have studied about the errors. Errors are of different type. It may be random, they may be gross, they may be systematical, they may be instrumental, they may be parallax, they may be side error, they may be visual error, they may be environmental error. So many errors in a comprising manner we have understood in the unit number 1. Then we have the accuracy and precision. Now, if I'm talking about the accuracy and precision means, accuracy, the word is came from accurate. And if I'm talking about the accurate means, I'm talking about the true value. If I'm getting the true value, it is good for me. If I'm not getting the true value, though, I can basically sacrifice the value, and I can we can say satisfy that I am getting the nearby value. That is precision, repetition of the reading. For example, I am having 9 watt. In a wattmeter, I want 9 watt reading, 9 kilowatt or 9 watt, but I am getting the reading 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9, again 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9, and 8.9. So what I have to do, I have to first identify the average of it. So average is there, and take the mean. Average is basically the mean as per the statistical theory. So average we can calculate by the whole 9 readings we have. So add all the 9 readings, divide by the number of readings, that is n. So we'll get the average, that is mean. And if I am getting the mean, for example, I am getting the mean 8.8, for example. So the deviation we can get from 8.6 to 8.8, 0.2, 8.7, 0.8, 0.3, 0.1, 8.80, 8.9, 1. So it is in the manner. So we getting the deviation by by minus or subtracting it from the mean value, or the measured value or the measured readings. So that comes in the category of deviation. And a deviation is basically we deviate from the mean. Mean reading is basically your mean reading, average reading, or we can say the mean reading. So if we are deviate from that reading, that is a deviation. So we can take the deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation, average deviation, and variance of it. So we can do all these things, and we did some numericals on the basis of it in the our unit number 1. That is the most probable value we can see. And we can place our readings on the Gaussian curve. For example, I am having 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9. So we can make a graph of it from the minus side and from the plus side with the help of deviation. We are getting minus deviation, we are getting positive deviation. So we are making a curve like this. Now, for example, minus sign denoting this thing, plus sign denoting this thing. So we can make a curve that is known as Gaussian curve. So the methods are standard deviation, variance, mean, average, and the curve which we how can we basically combination of errors. So we can make a Gaussian curve. The errors are of different types, and we having the basically accuracy and precision. These were all in the unit number 1, and I basically make the lectures on this. So you can refer the lecture number. We can say the 1, 2, 3 up to 6. You'll find all these things which I am discussing here. Why I am discussing? Because I am revising by the student. If I am not revising this thing, so you can forget it. So if you will forget, if you forget all these things, though, how can we move forward? Okay. Then in unit number two, basically we understood or understand by an instrument which is used for the energy conversion, means conversion from one form to another. That may be the equipment, that may be the component, that may be the element, that may be the particle of a system. So do what? It basically convert one form of energy to the another form. So we are the students which the listening, which we are the means you are the learners. So you are the student of electrical engineering, and I am a teacher of electrical engineering. So basically we always talk about the electrical engineering, consider about the electrical engineering. So as per my view, the transducer is an instrument or a device which is used to convert physical quantity into the electrical energy. Physical quantity may be acoustic, chemical, biological, mechanical, displacement, pressure, temperature. All these are the, we can say, physical quantity we can convert into the electrical quantity. So that is the transducer. So transducer basically work by the two process. First, it having the sensor, another one is having the transduction. Means senses the value that it is in the which form and transduct into the another form. Okay, so we can divide into different categories with their characteristics. So sensitivity, accuracy, efficiency, we can say uh, these are all the characteristics, gain and all this. So we have the characteristic, and there are different types of transducer. We having first primary and secondary. Primary directly, secondary we can make with the another help. Then we having the analog and digital, analog form and digital binary, that is 0 1. And we having the active and passive. So active directly converting into the form, and passive is basically we need intermediate state to convert it. we need a different stage or different place through which we can convert into the another form. Means first converted, for example, first pressure is converted into mechanical, then mechanical is converted into the electrical by the help of another, that is known as passive. And first directly pressure we are converting into the electrical, that is your what that is the basically active transducer. So piezoelectric crystal is an example. If we are applying force on it, it directly gives you the voltage. So that is transducer. Okay. And as per the transaction, we have so many things: capacitive, inductive. Okay. Then we have the photoconductive, transductive. We can say photovoltaic. Okay. And piezoelectric crystal. There are so many different types we have. So in this we have studied the different transducer. First we have studied about the LVDT, that is linear variable differential transfer, in which we basically moves the core. So displacement is there. Then rotatory, that is RVDT. Then we understand about the strain gauges. If I am applying the pressure, it convert into the another form. Different strain gauges we have understood. And we have understood about the Hall effect, which is used for the magnetic measurement. Okay. Then we understand about the thermocouple Seebeck effect. Thermistor is there, thermal resistors are there, resistance temperature detectors, potentiometers, RTD. Okay. So all these we have already studied in the unit number 2. Basically, they are the transducer. What are they? They are the transducers. And if I am talking about the transducer, my dear students, so transducers are basically is a component, a device, element, or a system particle which is used to convert one form of energy to the another form. Means physical quantity into the electrical quantity. If I am talking about electrical transducer, so that is a transducer. If I am talking about the inverse transducer, so inverse transducer do the inverse, means converting. If I am applying the voltage on it, so we are getting, for example, if I am applying the electrical, we are getting some displacement. Again, piezoelectric crystal is an example. So piezoelectric crystal, what you have to do? If we apply voltage on the piezoelectric crystal, if I apply force, then it give you the electrical, that is transducer. And if I'm talking about the inverse transducer, means I'm basically applying output to the input, means output is the electrical, but if I'm applying output, that is electrical, to this, then we can convert into the displacement. It changes its dimension. So displacement is there. So that is the example of piezoelectric crystal. Another example is basically the photoconductive, is photovoltaic is the solar cell. In this solar cell, we having the photovoltaic effect, in which when we impose light on it, that is the solar light, or we can say the solar radiation. So that radiation having what? That radiation having the photons. And if I impose that photons on the solar cell, so that photons basically uh, enter the energy level or enter into the solar cell, and it basically over excite the or excite the ions, that is electrons, basically, which is basically not moving with the due to the depletion layer and potential barrier. So it energized due to that photons and move from the depletion layer. The depletion layer goes down and the barrier voltage reduced basically. So what happens? They move, and if they are moving, means rate of flow of charges is known as current. So current will happen. That is photovoltaic effect. So we have understood so many transducer in the unit number 2. Then in unit number 3 is basically the signal conditioning. Now, if I'm talking about by the student the signal conditioning, so the signal conditioning is basically how can we condition a signal, in which manner. If I am conditioning a signal, though I need a amplifier. That is, first amplifier is basically the operational amplifier. The operational amplifier, if I'm talking about my dear student, so the operational amplifier is basically the we can say the 8-pin IC structure, and several operations we can perform it. And it is an amplifier. It amplifies having the high gain, means higher input impedance, low output impedance. So it basically follows the all amplification, good amplification characteristic they have. Okay. So in op-amp we can do what? It's IC741, 8-pin structure with 5 pin are in the use and 3 pins are not in the use. In 3 pins we are having 2 null sets, no connection, and 1 is null set. And in 5 pin we are having 1 inverting and another one is non-inverting inputs. Okay. two voltages, positive and negative, and one output, we can say. So we can say it is on the 2, 3, 5, and 6 and 7. We can say this like pins we having. So 8 pin structure, that is IC741. So with the operational amplifier, we can make the operational amplifier integrator, differentiator, subtractor, adder, divider, multiplier. So many mathematical operations we can perform: logarithmic, anti-logarithmic, voltage follower. So these we can use in the op-amp. So that is the basic thing. But why I'm telling you this op-amp, because you have already studied in the previous class in analog electronics. You have studied about the op-amp, that is operational amplifier. But my dear student, in this unit, why I'm telling you this thing, because first amplifier is the instrumentational amplifier. An instrumentational amplifier is basically the combination of three op-amps, in which the two op-amps give input to the last one open, that is the integrator differentiator, we can say. It gives you the output, instrumentation amplifier. Then we have studied about the isolation amplifier. The isolation amplifier, as name suggested, it is used for the isolation purpose. So in this isolation amplifier, basically we why we are using. So see students, nowadays the medical technology or medical science is very wide. It is advanced, it is changing day by day. So many modern techniques we have. So many machines which directly measure the pulse rate electronically, we can say. But in electronically, we need electrical supply. So in that electronically, or we can say what, no leakage current will flow. Otherwise, what happen? It gives shocks to the patient body. It is harmful to the patient body. We can do what? I have to stop this leakage current, though we need isolation amplifier. It is again op-amp, operational. Then we understand about the analog adder or analog, we can say multiplier and divider. So analog multiplier and divider, we use what? We use basically the basically we can say Gilbert mixer. The Gilbert mixer do what? It basically performs mathematical operation, that is multiplication and division. If I am giving the input of low frequency, then there will be a local oscillator which gives the high frequency. So we can multiply these all in the output. So if I am getting the output, that will be the multiplication of these two. For example, 20 hertz in the input and 100 hertz in the output. So 20 into 100, so we are getting 2000. So that 2000 or 2 kilohertz is basically the output, that is audio radio frequency. So local oscillator and Gilbert mixer. So we can do the multiplication, we can do the subtraction. Then we understand about the basically function generator. So in the function generator, we have again, if you want to generate or create or develop, or we want in the output, that is rectangular waveform, triangular waveform, sinusoidal or sine waveform. So it can be generated by of which frequency you want to this function generator. And in that function generator, we having the integrator, that is op-amp, operation amplifier. Okay. Then we having the optocoupler, again we having the integrator. In this, the amplifier is there. Then we have understand about the frequency to voltage converter, in which we can do what? In input, we are giving the input signal in the form of AC wave. It consists of magnitude, voltage, and magnitude, angle, and frequency. So that frequency we can use and convert, change into the uh, voltage. So we need two things. One is the frequency path, another one is the power path. So we can say calibrated power, and we can say the frequency filters we have. So in this, we are using integrator or differentiator op-amp, and we can do with the help of this, we can take output. So that is frequency to voltage converter. Okay. Okay, I hope you understand. Then we understand about one thing more, that is the basically the temperature to voltage converter. It is again combination of integrator. We can make, that means op-amp is there. That op-amp we are using for the connections making. We can say how we are make the connections, in which manner we are make the connections. So it is depend on this thing. Okay. Then we understand about the grounding and shielding. Though grounding is very necessary, because in grounding we have two different types of grounding. One is single point, another is multiple point. In single point, we can do what? In a single point grounding, we connect all the instrument grounding at single point. For example, I have 9 instruments, so 9 grounding we connect at a single point, known as single point grounding. Another one, we having multiple points, so 9 equal, each instrument having its individual grounding. So 9 instruments having 9 groundings. So that comes in the category of multiple point grounding, single point grounding and multiple point grounding. So I hope you understand or not. I hope you understand, my dear student. So then we having the shielding. Shielding is also necessary. And why we do the grounding, my dear student? Because we want to protect our instrument with the leakage current. If leakage current is there in the system, though I need that path through the leakage current will grow in the ground. So we having the low impedance path. For example, if you and me wants to reach or go at some new place, so I want to follow that path in which we are having, or you having, or I having the less ride controls and less speed breaker, so we can we can move very smoothly and reach the destination. So I, similar to that, current always follow that path in which that produce the less restriction, less impedance. So what we have to do for in the grounding, we have to make low impedance, so the current will become zero. Then we having the shielding. So in shielding, basically what we do, we want to protect for it. So copper gated winding is the cable we are using having the shielding. So proper leakage current, we want to shield it from the leakage current, or we can say the fault current, we want to prevent from the fault leakage. Though we use so many metals, they having the permeability and conductivity we can use for the shielding. Now unit 4. This is all about the previous I told about the unit number 3. In unit number 4, basically it is deal with the power system instrumentation. So in this we have studied first the voltmeter ammeters are of analog or digital type. Voltmeter always connected across and ammeter connected in the series. So loading effect basically is the resistance, individual resistance effect of voltmeter and ammeter, which affects on the reading or measurement directly. So that is loading effect. And analog is there, we having the analog, the pointer, needle, and the deflection, that is full scale deflection. In that we having the moving coil, permanent magnet moving coil, and the moving iron instruments. Permanent magnet moving coil is only used for the DC, but moving iron we can use attraction repulsion, we can use for AC and DC both. But if I am talking about the permanent moving coil, it is only for DC. So having analog means scale, deflection, the full scale deflection, pointer, deflecting torque, controlling torque, weights, needle, we can say PMMC and MI. So these all are the analog type. If I'm talking digital, though it works on the binary. So we having the screen there, liquid crystal display scheme, in which we can find the reading in the form of input is in the form of binary, that is 0 and 1. So I hope you understand. Then we have basically understand about the phase angle and frequency measurement. So phase angle and frequency measurement we can do with the help of CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope. In that cathode ray oscilloscope we having CRT, and we having the we can say the main hurt is the CRT. Then we having the heater. If the CRT in cathode ray 2 we having the electron gun and cathode gun, we find the cathode and anode. So we having the horizontal plate and the vertical plates. Through this we can put electron beam on the screen, and it gives you the output due to the help of Lissajous figure. So we can also measure voltage with them with the help of the CRO, frequency, phase angle, and time delay. So all these, because frequency is related to time, that is inversely proportional to the time. So that is all. Then we have understood about the active and reactive power. That basically we having complex power, that is S is equals to P plus jQ. So S is the apparent power, it is the VI. If I am talking about the active power which is wasted in the resistor, and reactive power which is consumed by the average power which is consumed by the reactor or capacitor. So we give like VI. So VI cos theta or cos phi is the active power, VI sin phi or sin theta is the reactive power, and VI is the apparent power. So we can make with the help of power triangle and impedance triangle. So impedance triangle, in the impedance triangle we can make with the help of that power triangle. So S will be the hypotenuse, P will be the base, that is resistor, we can say due to resistor, and Q will be the perpendicular. So S is equals to P plus GQ. So S is equals to VI, and P is equals to VI cos theta or cos phi, and S is equals to VI sin phi. So these we have studied in the previous lecture. Now in this lecture what we are going to study, my dear student, that is the energy meters. As name suggested, why I am using energy meter. So energy meter is used for the measurement of energy. Now, if I am starting my lecture, though there will be some objective, why I am starting, why I am delivering, why you are basically going to understand, which thing you are going to understand, which topic you are going to understand. So the my objectives are, first is help the learner, means you to understand the basics of electrical energy meters, and secondly understand the detailed theory about the working of electrical energy meters. Now moving forward, what is electrical energy meter? A device that measures the amount of electrical energy consumed by electrically powered devices. So we can say a device that measures the amount of electrical energy. Which type of amount of electrical energy? For example, if I'm talking about our house, in our house we having the watt hour meter, that is known as energy. Energy is basically power into time. Means how much power I am consuming in the time period. So that is the energy. So what is electrical energy meter? Though in every house or every domestic place, we having that meter, that is watt hour meter. Watt is the unit of power and hour is for time. So power into time, we can say energy. So energy meter do what? A device that measure the amount of electrical energy consumed by the electrical power device. Means for example, if I am talking about a house, in a house so many things are basically consume the power. What are they? What are they basically? So they have washing machine, we have air conditioner, we have television, we have microwave oven, we have heater, we have geyser, we have, okay, and we can say so many things, fan, cooler, lights, all having the energy consumed device. So basically electrical powered or electrical energy consumed device. So we can say what? A device that measures the amount of electrical energy consumed by electrically powered device, that is known as electrical energy meter. Now, what is electrical energy? Now, what is electrical energy? As I earlier told you, electrical energy is the product of power and the time t of how long the power is consumed or spent. So, electrical energy is what? Electrical energy is the product of power p and the time t of how long the power is consumed or spent. That is given by W is equals to P into T. P into T. We can say power into time consumed. So unit of measurement is kilowatt hour. Kilowatt is the for power and hour is for the time. So power into time we can say kilowatt hour. So kilowatt hour, the amount of energy consumed by 1 kilowatt load over the period of 1 hour. Over the period of 1 hour. Now one thing is there, my dear student, we always say that our in our house we get a bill or we get a tariff, electricity bill we get, then something written on the electrical bill, that is how much unit you have consumed in a month. That unit is basically is equals to the 1000 watt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is basically your 1 unit. So unit of measurement is kilowatt hour, 1000 watt hour. Okay, so it is basically the kilowatt hour, the amount of energy consumed by 1 kilowatt load over the period of 1 hour. That is the thing. Now, types of energy meter. If I am talking about the types of energy meter, there are two types of EM, means energy meter works on different mechanism. Works on different mechanism we have. We can say electromechanical induction type, induction disk type, electromechanical induction disk type meter, and secondly we have electronic meter or solid state meter. Now I am using the word solid state here, my dear student. So solid state here means we use that component which always which having the leakage non-leakage property, means they are on the solid state, means they gives you the output with higher efficiency. Okay, so they are the electronic components, for example diode, transistor, FET, SCRs and all. So there are two types of electric energy meters which works on different mechanism. First is electromechanical induction type meter and second is electronic meter or solid state meter. Now, electromechanical energy meter, what they do basically? I think so you have understand or learned this thing before in the third semester, or we can say second year, about the electrical measuring instrument. So in this instrument we are having induction disk type, that is this thing, that is electromechanical. Now the one thing is there, why I am using electromechanical, means electrical energy converted into mechanical energy with the help of magnetic field. So that is a similar thing we are doing. So that is known as electromechanical energy meter. But in this electromechanical energy meter, how the electrical is converted into the mechanical, though I need a coupling circuit, that is your magnetic field or magnetic circuit. Okay. Now measure energy by counting revolution of the rotating disc. This thing, it is rotating disc. This energy meter you found in the old houses or in the ancient time. The previous time we having this type of meters which is basically placed in our houses. But nowadays it is electronic meter we are using. So the metal disc is non-magnetic but electrically conductive. Measures energy by counting revolving of the rotating disc. The metal disc is not magnetic but electrically conductive. The number of revolutions is proportional to the energy use. Means number of revolutions. How it revolute? So it is proportional to the energy uses. Means 10 rotation means 10 unit you have consumed. Okay. So 15 rotation, 15 units you have consumed. Now electromechanical energy meter. How they works? Basically how it works. The disk is acted upon two sets of coil we have. One coil produce magnetic flux, depend on current, and other depends on the voltage which lags by 90 degree. What having two sets of coil, in which one coil if I current flow the current, MMF will take place and reluctance will be there, though we get the magnetic flux as per the Biot-Savart law. And secondly, another depend on the voltage which lags 90 degree because it is inductive. So lags by 90 degree, that produce eddy current into disk, that produce what? Eddy current, and force to rotate the disk, force to applying force to rotate the disk. A permanent magnet exerts an opposing force. If I'm using a permanent magnet in it, so a permanent magnet exerts an opposing force proportional to the speed of rotation of the disk. A permanent magnet exerts an opposing force proportional to the speed of rotation of that disk. The equilibrium between these two opposing forces results that this to rotate at the speed proportional to the power usage. This the equilibrium state, or we can say the permanent magnet exert an opposing force proportional to the speed of rotation of the disk. The equilibrium between these two opposing forces result that disk to rotate at a speed proportional to the power usage. We can say. Now the disk drives a resistor mechanism which counts revolution. The disk drives a resistor mechanism, we can say, which counts revolution. Which counts what? Revolutions. I hope you understand. Now it is showing you here. It is the thing we having the gear we can do here. It is a spindle. We having the coils here, and this the disc here we brake magnet and electromagnets we are making like here. So with the gear it moves the disc, and we having this hole, that is the shunt magnet, single phase supply, disc, aluminum disc, brake magnets, and electromagnets we have. And this is the we can say the control resistor mechanism, shunt magnet, spindle, and gear. And gear train to basically dials. So two rings are there, one copper coils and voltage coil led by the 90 degree. Copper shading Q for this disc rotation. Brake we are applying here, rotating aluminum disc, watt hour. So it is showing you the disc to rotate. So that is your electromechanical energy meter. So it is working by the help of electromechanical. Electromechanical means electrical to mechanical. So I am applying the electrical field with the help of this. It rotates, the disc rotates. So electromechanical energy meter. Now it is showing by this also. Now see here. Again we have the disc in it. So we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 components are there, and 7 is also there reading, we can say. So we are having the electromechanical energy meter is there. It works like this. Okay. So what is it? First we can say the voltage coil. We can representing here. If I am representing here, so we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all 7 I am representing here. So first is your voltage coil, many turns. So first representing the voltage coil having many turns placed here. Okay. Now secondly the current coil, 3 turns of thick wire connected in series with the load. If I'm talking about this thing, so this is the current coil, basically thick wire connected with the loads. See here, current coil, 3 turns of the thick wire connected in series with the load. Okay. Then third is the stator concentrate and confined magnetic field. Third is the stator, the stationary part confines the magnetic, this one. Okay. Then we have the aluminum rotor disc. aluminum router disc. This is the fourth. This one. That is your aluminum router disc which rotates. Then fifth is the rotor brake magnets. What we having? The rotor brake magnets. The fifth is rotor brake magnet. So this is the voltage coil, current coil, magnet, disc, and it is basically the brake magnets. And sixth we having the spindle with worm gear. Spindle with worm gear. So six is the spindle with the worm gear. And seven is the your display dials. Display dials we can found the readings, but it is 1000. Though the we can say this needle will work if I am having the 1000. If you are having the 100, this will work. 10, this will work, and similar to that. So we having the voltage coil, current coil, magnet, disc, brake magnet, spindle, and the dial. I hope you understand now. Electromagnetic energy meter, voltage coil, many tons of the increased intense plastic. We can say voltage coil, many tons of fine wire in enhanced encased in plastic, connected in parallel with the load. Current coil, we having 3 tons of thick wire connected in series with the load. Stator concentrates and confined magnetic field. Rotor disc is there through which we get the reading. Rotor brake magnets when we apply the magnet. Spindle with worm gear, it is attached with that. Okay. Then we having these display dials through which we can identify the reading or measure the reading. Now next is electromagnetic connection diagram. So how can we do it? First is connected with the line, third is connected with the neutral, second is connected with the rail, fourth is connected with the neutral. That is the mean supply, line and neutral, and another one is the line and neutral is the load. So load 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is the line mean, 3 is the neutral for mean, 2 is the for line load, and 4 is for the neutral of the load. So that is the connection diagram we can make very easily in the electromagnetic energy meter. Okay, I hope you understand. Now working formula. This type of formula we can use. So electromagnetic energy meter we use working formula in which the power is 3600 3600 into kilo hour we can say upon time. So P is the power into watts, kh the amount of energy represented by one revolution of the disk in the units watt hour per revolution. 1 hour per revolution. T is equals to time in seconds taken by disk to complete one revolution. T is what? Time in seconds taken by the disk to complete one revolution. Now, example is given to you. If one revolution takes 16 seconds, what is the power when kh is equals to 8 watt hours? 8 watt hours. So T is given to you, that is 16. kh is already given to you, that is 8 in units of watt hour per revolution. Then P is equals to 3600 into kh upon T. So 1800 watt or 1.8 kilowatt hour we can say. Okay, we can say this thing. Now 16 is given to you and 3600 into we can say 8 upon 16. So 1 by 2. So we are getting 1800 or 1.8 kilowatt hour or 1.8 unit energy. So that is the basic example. We can also change this example that for example we having 16 will convert it into 20, 24, whatever, 28, 32. So these we can change the example also, or we can do the example in different manner. I hope you understand. Now moving forward, electronic energy meter. We can call it as EEM. It is looking like this. Now see here. This is electronic energy meters. You always find in a digital form, not analog. It is on the digital form. Always we having the digits found on the screen. So you can directly calculate that if you found written here is 20 kilowatt. So 20 kilowatt hour means 20 unit you have consumed. So we can change the tariff also with the tariff the conditions. Okay. Now how it works. Electronic energy meter is based on digital micro technology, that is DMT. What is it? That is DMT, digital micro technology. Functions are controlled by specially designed ICs, integrated circuit, called AIC, application specified integrated circuit. Which application we want to perform? So that is the application specified integrated circuit, ACIC. Now analog circuits are also present in WEM, that is electronic energy meter, to sample current and voltage. To sample current and voltage. Okay. Now the input data, that is voltage, is compared with programmed reference data. that is voltage. Input data is voltage is compared with the program reference data voltage, and a voltage rate is given to the output. Voltage rate is what is given to the output. The output is then converted into digital data. The output is then converted into digital data, which is converted into the average value. The output is then converted into digital data, which is converted into the average value. Now the average value about oblique mean value, we can say the average value per mean value is the measuring unit of power. Average value per mean value is the measuring unit of power. What is it? It is the measuring unit of power. Now the output of AIC, that is application specified integrated circuit, indicated by the LED as pulses. Uh, Nowadays we are using electronic meter. So in your houses you will find an electronic energy meters. Though in this the light blinks. That is the LED basically pulse blinks that give that these pulses are equal to the average kilowatt hour. That is kilowatt hour per unit. We can say. So now the electronic energy meter. This type of meter has various features. They have various features. First is display in LCD, liquid crystal display, or LED monitors. We have the screen. So liquid crystal display screen we have, or lighting emitting diode monitors we have. Calculate real power, reactive power, and apparent power. Means both three powers, as we have discussed before. That is apparent and reactive and active power. So we can say the complex power, that is S is equals to P plus JQ, where P is the active power, Q is the reactive power, and S is the apparent power. So this energy meter basically calculate real power, reactive power, and apparent power. Calculated bill in the specified tariff plan. Bill is in the what? Specified tariff plan. We can directly find out. Nowadays, a person will come to your house, take the reading, and feed in this the machine which they have. Feed it, and you will get the electronically printed bill of the small size, and you can directly uh, payment of the digitally you can make the payment. So that is due to the electronic meter, but due to the analog meter, we can say electromagnetic meter, we can't do it. Okay, send billing information to remote wirelessly. So they basically send the information to the remote wirelessly, means no wire is using. So we can do with the help of wireless. Report and record important part parameters we have. Some has prepaid features, some has, not all. So it does look like this. Now we can say electronic or smart energy meters. Nowadays we are working on the smart energy meters. We are working on the smart energy meters. We smart means information. They consist the information also. Smart, I am using the word means it having the information. So it having the information of all type, and you can also stop the whenever you are leaving your house. So you can stop that machine also. For example, the connection asks for we having 9 connection. For example, one is for the fan, second is for the AC, third is for the bulb, four is for the we can say cooler, five is for the oven, six is for the washing machine, seven is for the chimney, eight is for the RO, and nine is for the uh, we can say iron. So which instrument I am not using, that we can stop the unit of that, that we can do with the help of smart energy meter. Okay, now electronic or smart energy meter, the block diagram of digital energy meter is given here. Energy meter, relay we are using, load we are using, optocoupler we are using. We have understood about the optocoupler. 8051, that is microcontroller MC chip. LCD, liquid crystal display. Smart card reader or writer. Power supply and EP ground. We having this thing. So that is the block diagram. With the help we can make a electronic or smart energy meter. I hope you understand. Now block diagram of GPS based energy meter. Now GPS is what? It's basically a global positioning system. We having the location in your phone, so that represent the GPS. So Google power meter we having in the first, then we having the center processing unit, then we having the ZIG XB coordinator, XB router, MCU, end device, distribution panel, current sensors. We having the 4 kilowatt is the load, 5 kilowatt is for the washing machine, 1.8 kilowatt is for the dryer, and 2 kilowatt is for the chimney or the kitchen load. So we can do basically on the basis of GPS. That is global positioning system based energy meter. Okay, so here we having the Google power meter is there, center processing unit is there, XB coordinators we having for the Wi-Fi connection or the network connection, because we need network connection to perform this thing. Then we have XB router, MCU Android device, current sensor, distribution panel, smart serial connections, home energy line, integrated current measuring lines. We having the first showing you the geyser, we can say. Secondly, 5 kilowatt is for the washing machine, 1.8 kilowatt is for the hair dryer, and 2 kilowatt is for the kitchen, or we can say the kitchen appliances. That may be the we can say the heater, geyser, or chimney, oven we are using. So these about the whole thing. I hope you understand about the energy meters what we having. Now these are the some multiple choice questions related to this. The instrument which works only with DC is electrolyte motor, the mercury motor, or induction motor, or both A and B. So the option is D, electrolyte and mercury. The electrolyte energy meters are essential: a true watt hour meter, an ampere hour meter, either watt hour meter or neither watt hour or ampere. So option is B, an ampere hour meter. An electrolytic ampere hour meter can be converted into watt hour meter by multiplying them with the voltage of the circuit which is used. So option A. Now the commutator type meters can be used for AC and DC both. In case of motor meters, the speed of the rotation is directly proportional to the current in case of ampere hour meter, and to the power in the case of watt hour meter. Directly proportional to the current in case of ampere hour meter, and inversely proportional to the power in case of watt hour meter. Inversely proportional to the current in the case of ampere hour meter, and directly proportional to the power in case of watt hour meter. Inversely proportional to the current in case of ampere hour meter, and to power in the case of watt hour meter. So the option is in motor meters, the speed controlling of the rotating system is done by using permanent magnet, train of gear, wheels and dials, pinion, all of these. So option is A, permanent magnet. They are used. Commutator motor meters are ampere hour meter, true watt hour meter, either ampere hour meter or true watt hour meter. None of these. So option is C, either ampere hour meter or true watt hour meter. So energy meters we have. The induction type single phase watt hour meter uses controlling spring, pointer, brake magnet, spindle, all of these. So controller spring was there, pointer was not there, brake magnet spindle was there. So we can say option is C. In induction watt hour meter, due to shunt magnet, the torque is not zero power factor. It can be compensated by using shading ring, power factor compensator, drilling holes in the disc on a diameter, both A and B. So the shading ring we have already seen, and power factor PFC is also there. Option D is there, both A and B. For friction compensating in an induction watt hour meter is done by making option A, that is the ratio of shunt magnet flux and series magnet flux Raj with the help of two shading bands. You can see. Okay, so I hope you understand about this thing. Now these are the reference books available in our library having good contents. I also took some material to deliver or basically giving this lecture. So electron and electronics measurement and measuring instrument A.K. Sani, electrical measuring instruments by Rajan Prasad Khanna publisher, A.S. Morris, principles of measurement and instrumentation, is of Prentice. So these all are the good books having good content. You can also refer it. So thank you for my side, students. I hope you understand about the energy meters. Types of energy meter are of two types. Basically, the electromechanical and we can say the electromechanical and we can say electronic. So I hope you understand. So thank you for patience listening. I hope you understand this